Good morning, all of you out there in the Twitch world, and eventually the YouTube world, as this video will make it over there, no matter how it ends. Folks, I want to welcome you to Flying with Mike. We had a little technical difficulty, and all that I was doing and things that got me hung up, I had forgotten to change the verse of the day. So, it has been changed partially. I've still got work to do on it. But anyway, uh, it goes like this, and I'll show you. And didn't do it that way either. Holy mackerel. What happened here? Did I forget to hit the all-important save? That would never happen here on Flying with Mike. All right, well, we'll kind of work on that in the background while we prepare for a great flight today, folks. The hair it's saved for sure. All right, so next time we give this a try, it should come up the way it was meant to for today. That was yesterday's. This is today's. Because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you. That's out of the Psalms, folks, from King David when he was out wandering in the desert, longing for God. These are some of the poetic language used that he used for Psalm 63:3. So, but anyway, we have that set up now. All I need to do is make the final correction over here on the appropriate slide. And how actually it kind of sounds neat the way it was, but that's not what the verse is. So, all right, and one little tweak. There we go. And it is now set up. So, all right, so we'll come out of studio mode and back into the flight. All right, so today, as the title suggests, if you don't know where Mickey World is, it is Walt Disney World. I call it Mickey World for short because we all know Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney, for those very familiar with them, go hand in hand. So we're headed to Orlando. Orlando International to be exact. And we're retroing it back into the 80s and early 90s, right before U.S. Air came on the scene. Capitulation of several airlines, PSA, Piedmont, and Allegheny. They came together. U.S. Air came out of that, and then eventually U.S. Airways. And then we could go further with the history, but for now, we're in Piedmont. We're going to keep it simple today. All right, folks. So like I said, a little bit of a retro day. I remember these days quite well. Living in Dayton, Ohio, I'd go up to the airport when you were allowed to walk out to the gate and just enjoy strolling. I mean, it's a small airport, but it was a big hub for Piedmont at the time. Piedmont on this side, everyone else on that side. And if you've been a regular with Flying with Mike, I do love telling this story. Back then, it was a spoke in, spoke out, and still is quite a bit with the airlines. And what that means is at a period of time, usually about an hour, they all fly in at a hub, the hub airline. And then, you know, they're on the ground roughly an hour. And then the next hour, they poof, all leave. And then about another hour or so later, they all begin to arrive again. And then they leave. Well, at Dayton, it was quite funny to watch because I went back there once. And they spoked in. All the gates filled up here on both sides. And filled with 737 200s. I don't think the 300s were with them, but they might have been. And 727, 100, 200s, all over the place here. And then about an hour later, they all left. And every concessionaire in the concourse here and over on the other side, because I did actually fly out a couple times on TWA, closed. I mean, it was dead. No concessionaires, no nothing. And then, about an hour or so before the flight starts spoking in, poof, they all opened up. Quite hilarious to watch. Today, you can't do that unless you're a passenger. So, but it was neat to see that. And kind of wish we, there are times I wish we could go back to that, but then I realize we're never going to go back to that. So, and that's a shame. But I'm in the world of that, so I understand the why, and the whys and all. And yeah, it's just a shame we can't go back to those kind of days, but till times change, folks, that's not going to happen. Sorry to say, folks, just gonna have to realize everybody's safety is more important and as important as yours. All right, so we've done enough here of having fun. We're loading up right now our peeps. And let's get into the office area here and get some work done. There we go. All right. Yeah, we're set up. All right. So again, glory days of airlines, folks, minus the 737s and DC-9s of the day. Oh, yeah, some DC-9s would be seen here, too. I forgot about them. But anyway, three-man crew here. Now, the DC-9 737s were actually two-man crews. They were the beginning of the demise of the man that did all the work back here because they were trying to figure out what did those two do up there, except kind of do their little parade wave as they taxi by. So that's me, folks, having fun. I really don't know why. I know the airlines save money by not having three in the cockpit like that all the time. I mean, on the long flights, they have them, but only as a backup guy. He'll be up in the cockpit eventually as a crew member. Otherwise, he's resting for that role. And then they'll alternate out. But anyway, three people, captain on the left, first officer on the right, and the guy, like I like to say, behind the curtain that you never want to see, but he's the one that makes the ride oh so pleasant, temperature-wise. He can't do anything about the bumpiness. That's how they play with the stick up there. No, that's up to the air currents. But he's the one that gives you all the comforts back there. Make sure the engines are going, the pressure is good, the hydraulics, all of that good stuff's going. And the pretty boys up front get you there. All right, so we are, like I said, at Dayton, Ohio. Bringing up Sim Toolkit here so we can get this briefed and get ourselves on our way. Oh, where's Sim Toolkit? There it is. All right, so it is coming up now, and boy, do you see the big feature on the map. Yeah, there's a big storm system that's come through over the last couple of days here in St. Louis, now up in the Great Lake area, and some trailing storms off of it just west of Dayton, Ohio. And that's what we get to take off with. All right, so here we are, and here's how our route is. Now, I am going to go ahead and skip going to Trevo and go direct CVG from here. I'll explain why. It's part of the Dayton 7 departure. That is why, right up front. All right, so for today, we have 134 brave souls. We're about to load onto the plane. Payload of 30,800. Fuel 31,350. So, and we'll see how close we get to these. Flight level 330 at Mach 0.80. That's the game plan down to there. Should take about 2 hours and 20-ish minutes, if not less, from time of departure. Now, we're going to do something a little, it's been way too long, folks. Again, remember I said, late 80s, early 90s, Piedmont was around. I don't remember the big aircraft using 1.8, but again, they probably did, and that's called age, and don't remember. Oh, anyway. So, but you can see the winds are very favorable for 1.8, being 170 and 15. So I can't really justify putting us over on the 2.4s. All right, so sim toolkit away. And let's get into the remainder of the checklist, and that being putting the bodies and the cargo in. Now, I always do it very simply here. We just go over here, just put your mouse along the corner, and this little menu comes out. Click the airplane, gives you the weight and balance. Okay, right now it's showing 79, so I just click the random R until we get kind of close. Let's see what happens. Probably should have stuck with it. Actually, I could click full because 134 people I thought was full, and just verifying, yep, 134, we are full. There we go. Real simple. Click the F for full, E for empty, R for random loadouts. All right, now let's look at something. You probably don't remember the zero fuel weight. Actually, I need to look at it again. 32576. Okay, it is what I've got written down. Okay. All right, so we need our zero fuel weight here to get close to 132,576. So what we're going to do is put one bin of cargo there. See how our CG is. Let's put a second one there. $130. Yeah, and if we go any more, we'll be well over. It's 1,200 pounds, I believe. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, 1,200 pounds. So we'll leave it at 132. 170. I can't add any bodies because there are no empty seats, folks. Maximum altitude is 34,300. We're cruising at 33,000, so it's going to be interesting. Maximum. Now that probably is with our fuel load currently. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we bring this up. Again, if you know how to properly load the plane, go for it here. I really don't, so I just do it generically. 30,004, that'll work right there. So we're up to 12.7 and we're down to 33.8. All right, now that's a little troubling to me. We're going to try for it. We may end up only at 31,000. We'll see how this transpires. All right, and I don't know why the max landing weight. Is it because of our weight? That's why. If we were to come back, we have to dump fuel because we're above our maximum landing weight of 154 right now. So we got to dump off about 12,000 pounds of fuel. No, I'm sorry, 8,000 pounds of fuel. My bad. All right, so we're loaded in the airplane, and this actually loads it, folks. There is no, like we did yesterday, you just calculate it all up, and then you go to a loader. No, it's done. So the airplane's loaded, 22.8% on the Mac. And then here's what our calculations are going to yield us. 128, 128, 140. We'll set the bugs at the same time. And go with 20 on the flaps. We'll set the state trim once we're fired up. I'll show you. It's a real simple. They made it simple in FlyJSims. So, all right, so let's take a look here. We'll come back to this right before takeoff. Bugs are set. All right, so we're just waiting for the peeps to come aboard. Let's get our current altimeter. Actually, I think that might have been them. Saying 2965. That may be what the FlyJSim says. Let's see real. Sky Vector. 2965. Okay. So we do it right here to 2965. About 1,000 feet above sea level. 1,009 feet is what the chart says. All right, and what I want to do here, hang on. Chart 8 and 7 down there. Okay. All right, and the reason I'm wanting to do that is we're going to do a departure brief here in a minute. So anything I can do to get a little bit ahead for that is great. All right, so there you have it, folks. The aircraft is now loaded. The reason that altitude is there is because over here it's still not 2965. When they match, it would have gone away. Okay. And let me get this one, the backup down here. All right, and then I'm going to set our radar altimeter to 400 feet. And we're just about ready for that brief. Make sure nothing else. Auto brake, NavCom, parking brake. Okay, take off. Fee speeds we got, state trim we got, minimum cleanup altitude. Okay, we're ready to we're waiting on them to be able to push back. All right. For that, we're going to bring Sim Toolkit back again. And I'm trying to show off Sim Toolkit here, folks, because there's a lot of great data here. Bring out NavGraph. Now, it still shows yesterday's flight because I didn't unload it from here. However, now we go here, and there you have it. Again, we are going Dayton 7 to the CVG. Now, it looks like, that actually looks like we might be still flying it. We sure are. So if we go out, come off the runway and work our way toward Trevo, we'll eventually join what the Dayton 7 tells us to do. And I'm going to show you that here real quick. Okay, here is where we are on the airport. We're going to basically, to go to 7, we'll push back here, taxi out Alpha to all the way to 18, and then take off. It's a 8,500 foot runway at 185 degrees. Okay, very simple taxi. Again, Alpha, Yankee, I'm sorry, correction, Alpha all the way to 18, hold line. Then, once we get airborne, now we're doing a radar departure basically, meaning we're going to be taking off. Now you see Trevo is not showing. So what we're going to do is follow the departure. First up here, your departures with Columbus, that still makes no sense to me, but hey, they do what they do in the ATC world. Airport's 1,009 feet above sea level, transitions 1,800. This is flyable, folks, VOR. You do not have to have RNAV. Hence, a 727 would love this, because RNAVs really were just starting at the twilight days of the 727 before they sunset it. All right, so we're going to take off heading 185. Then we're going to work our way over to the 04 radio, outbound 184, inbound to CVG, maintaining 250 until ATC says otherwise. Guess what? Right now there is no ATC. So we're pilot, we're captain, we're first officer, we're flight engineer, and now we're ATC on top of that. Hey, welcome to the world of flight simming, folks. We wear a lot of hats that the real world would cringe to even have more than two. All right, so as it says, we climb on a heading of 185 or whatever radar assigns to us. Now, CVG approaches up. As you saw, Columbus approach departure has us. However, we may get into them real quick. Let's see here. So, to join our route. Now, our fix is CVG, so let's come down to routing now. Okay, all aircraft maintain 5,000 feet or a filed altitude if lower. Okay, now expect your requested altitude 10 minutes after departure. Turbojet aircraft filed over CVG maintain 250 until advised by ETC. And expect vectors to the 004 radio off of CVG. In our case, we'll be heading 184 down to it. Pretty simple, straightforward, already set up in the box. But you can see, isn't that nice what Sim Toolkit gives you here? Get this, pull it out of the way. There you go with the map still. You can file, you can do everything up here, folks. As a matter of fact, we're going to even go to the map. Load the live map. And zoom it in. Oh, they're going to odd way. Okay. I thought I had to sneeze there, folks. Sorry about that. Still got the sniffle. Sorry about that in your ear. All right, so we're ready to go. So let us, okay, there are no main doors to close, just one. And it's this one. Shift F1 will get that to go up and down. APU is not running yet. Real quick, interesting piece of equipment on the plane. And it's neat that it's there. The DB Cooper switch. Legend of DB Cooper, folks, jumped from a 727 at I forget what altitude. Some said 10, some say higher, 10,000. How he came on the airplane with a parachute, that I don't know. But he hijacked the plane, and then while he was scaring them to death, went to the back, opened the back door, and supposedly jumped with a lot of money from a bank robbery. So Boeing's idea in the ensuing days thereafter, how do we prevent this on 727 and DC-9s? I believe they were the only ones that had this staircase back here. They went to the 5 and dime store and got themselves a little switch that you pull over this so you can't lower it. Now, maybe it's tied in electronically to stuff so it won't even engage. That I don't know. But literally, this end goes right over that part. Like I said, billions of dollars went in to fix this plane. No. So, yeah, literally, folks, a very simple fix to a very dangerous situation. Especially since the guy behind the stick forgot to get rid of Sim Toolkit on the screen. So we'll go out one more time, look at it so you can see it, because it's actually modeled. It was not modeled on the FSX 727 from Captain Sim. But it doesn't work anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, this would roll over. Here's your door. Okay, so there the switch would be open, and that's why you don't have a cabin in here. So once this door was up and the ground crews were doing their walk around, they'd flip the switch over, and DB would not be able to escape from the rear. DC-9s, MD-80s, and the 727s are the only aircraft I know that had that. Maybe the VC-10 over in Europe. That's a maybe. I don't know anything about that. And the Trident, was that the other one that was a very close to the 727? And maybe the Russian variant of it. But yeah, that was their idea of how to prevent that from ever happening again. And with all of that said and done, folks, it is time to rock and roll out of here. So we have the switch up, ladders up, everything's ready to go. Let's pull the jetway away. I say cautiously, there it is. All right, and we can crank them up. First thing we're going to do is crank on the APU. Hold the switch. Oop, I just went the wrong way. Dang it. Okay, let's try it one more time. Get the arrow pointing up. Hold it for a 3 count. 2, 3. And then you're going to see it slowly spooling up, which, folks, is what the APU did. Remember, this is the aircraft with the first built-in APU on the market, the 727. The 707s would get them later after it was successful on this plane. Up until then, a bunch of carts were needed to get them started. Air carts, power carts, I mean, besides the ramps being full of airplanes, they were full of carts to get them started. Now, a normal APU would start dropping off. It looks like we're not. Right, so we're on the APU. So we'll switch our essentials. APU there. Come over here to the gears. What looks like a bunch of cogs. We'll disconnect. And then we're going to start cranking on the engines. Bleeds come off. We need them to build up to 40 or more on the PSI. Right there at 40. Here we go. All right, we're going to crank number 2 first. I think it might have been 312, but I don't know. Okay. Start lever down. We're going to look. What's going on? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong switches. This is our start lever. Okay. N2 is at 20. Introduce fuel. There she goes, building up. It's been a while since I've asked the question of all those who are here lurking or active on the channel. Where's the APU located? Answers in the chat room, please. See how well you paid attention to the 727. And it's not where you're gonna think it is. Actually, as long as you use a little logic, you'll figure out that location doesn't work. Starting 1. Got a start light on, valves open. Coming up on 20% here at 20%, fuel on. Here goes the fuel. And I can already wonder, some of the new folk here will be going, don't you have to be pushing back right now? Yeah. But at places like St. Louis, D concourse, You didn't have room for a pushback up front. So, and they did this at Mid-America where I work many years ago when 727s were here with Pan Am and the occasional other airlines that would come in, ATA and all. Okay, we're stable. Let's go for number 3. They powered back, and that's what we're going to do. Start lights on. Coming up, 20 is right there. Fuel on. And the exhaust gas is coming up, so we got a light off. Oh, sorry for the sniffle again, folks. While I'm waiting, let me crank this up. Okay, we're just about stable. Okay, and stable. Alright, so the engine started. Crap, I forgot to do something. Hang on, we're going to have to shut them down again. I forgot to start my acorns program. Hopefully the APU will stay working. Okay, we're still there. Let's go ahead and put some air in the cockpit. Just wait for them to wind down. The airline I'm flying with, folks, is very particular, so I definitely want to make sure we're at 0. Believe it or not, this is the second time starting engines. Not all of them. We started 3. When I first came up, I accidentally toggled the fire warning for engine 3. And I wanted to make sure it didn't disable it. So, okay, it's doing good. Right now, I will start it up. My bad. I kept telling myself, don't forget, and I told myself enough that I forgot. All right, and we're going to go ahead and start the flight. All right, so let's go back, beacon on. And we forgot that. And let's just make sure we got all our switches on. Okay. Again, 23, 213. Start valves on. Oh, they're not going to go because, let's see if I can just turn the packs off. If it'll start it up. Looks like it will. All right, so 20. There you go, 20, and GT's coming up, N1's coming up. fuel's coming up, and EPR is coming up. All right, we're going through it again, folks. You've lived through this once. We're just doing it again for the ACARS system. All right, number 2 is on. Number 1, light on. Waiting for 20%. Okay, there we go. Fuel's up. Exhaust gas is coming up, as is N1. So we've got a light off there. Third time's always a charm, folks. Okay, and we are stable. Number 3. Starter valve open. And here we go. 20's right there, folks. Okay, valve on. Here comes the fuel. And we're up and running. Just got to wait for her to stabilize. We'll be ready to go. Okay, good starts. Let's go back up here. Some up. Okay, let's get the packs back on. And I didn't turn galley power off. Let's close just in case the generator goes on the. Hang on here. Get back over. Gen 1. Gen 1. You would think in all of these starts, I would have thought to turn the fuel pumps on. As you can tell, it's not a requirement. And the hydraulics are set. And all right. So after starting, ignition's on, pitot heat on. Start levers, doors, ground equipment is disconnected, but we'll double check. Disconnected. Any ice requirements? I don't think we need any. And actually, we'll just get the engines on. Up. Okay, and we're ready to go. All right, folks, we are ready to power back. Yaw dampers checked. They're up top here. Down here, maybe thinking 747. Since I can't use the yokes here, I'm gonna make them invisible. Yeah, the yaw damper test is here. GPW test, like the 7 is there. Light controls, okay, let's get them back. Okay, left. Gauge right here, folks, does not have aileron. there's two ways to know if you turned your hydraulics on. If both, see the rudder moving in the middle of that gauge, if both of those needles aren't moving, see how it's separated? One of your hydraulic systems are off. The other one is, you'll see lights right here. Ready to go. And speed brakes. Platform. Here we go. Alright, and speed brakes are down. Go. Oh, stabilizer. Real quick, folks, stabilizer, all you gotta do is push the green, sets the stabilizer. You're ready to go. Put your reversers on, release the brake, power it. Now you're seeing probably why power back is not the best as people think. A lot of fuel right there, folks. Going forward doesn't take as much. Completely gone by thrust. Alright, so taxi, 1 lap, galley powers on electrical lights, fuel set, hydraulics set, light guard is on ground. We are ready to go. That doesn't take as much fuel to go. Because most of the time the engines put out enough thrust to move you forward. Just not back in the day of this generation of airliners. Today, you let the brakes off, they start taxiing. Now, back in the day when Piedmont was there, Captain Mike was learning how to fly right over there at a place called Beechcraft, flying skippers and sundowners, as well as Wright-Patterson's Aero Club. And there I flew Pipers and Cessnas. Also, that's where the Dayton Air Show, #2 in the world, held. That's where all the static exhibits would be, and every other year all of the different aerospace companies would come in, and a lot of wheeling and dealing going on then. Actually, I think I got it. Anyway, I was on that ramp there close by. And those kind of aircraft were not there, folks. It was all not, looks like ATRs and Doingers. And a couple of mixed in other aircraft. Yeah, it would be every other year, second in the world of the size. Nothing outdid Paris. But Dayton and Farnborough would alternate year for year. All right, so we are taxiing out to runway 18. Fun times here, though, folks. A lot of neat stuff I've seen in Dayton. We're in where you see FedEx and all. It's not where FedEx parks. That was Emory Worldwide. For those that know it, this was their main hub. Big hub. I, as a truck driver, hauled a lot of air freight. So, but lack of maintenance and other troubles brought them to their demise. And current airlines ought to pay attention to what happened to them. And it's not just the little ones, it's even the big ones. But on any given night, you'd see a bunch of DC-8s in there, some DC-10s, a lot of 727s, and every now and then a DC-9. Most of those would come in from Canada, the DC-9s. But today, if they were around, there'd be a lot more. But they, I think, ceased like in 2006 or something like that. Very bad crash in Sacramento. So, again, airlines need to pay attention to what happened because I'm out of business. All right, we're headed out to the runway, so final checks. All right, so hydraulics. Let's see, ignition's gotta go. Now we take the switches. They are set. Missions are ready to go. And again, CVG is up. I don't know how that's going to play into us as we climb out. I'm sure I'm going to have to contact them, so can't imagine they'd let me go without me talking to them. And with the low clouds, we'll hold back here at the ILS. Alright, so CVG is 23,870. Alright, final checks, okay. Cabin doors closed, takeoff data brief set. Any skid, transponder, flight attendants. Radio side. XTCAS wing collision lights here in a minute. Let's be safe, turn it's on too. Back fuel pressure set. Go. Dayton traffic, Piedmont 1043, departing runway 18.
80 knots.
Cross check. Verify.
D1. Rotate.
Okay, we're airborne, folks. Just get the climb set here. Get my Okay, flaps are up. Right, after takeoff checks are being mission, no smoking, landing gears up and that, flaps are up, back to cutoff, light, looking good, and AC pressure set, alright, passing 10,000, we'll nose over to about 1,000 feet a minute. Okay, it's back in speed. So to altitude, you see why there's 3 people. Let's do 3. There we go. And there you go, folks. We're on our way. And the hardest part, since I forgot to do it in okay, we're all set. I want to get rid of this. We're tracking to CVG now. At or above 19,000, which should be out of their airspace for approach. And headed on south. There you have it, folks. It's actually a pretty decent departure, just a couple of mistakes here and there. There you go. Get to see the 727 climbing out. It is X-Plane11, folks. This aircraft has not been brought over. I've been told it should come over. Just of course, time. So, right, and if you didn't know this, folks, there is a checklist that comes with it. You can go through it. It's pretty basic, but get to this one, it does give you speeds to worry about. So like flaps up by 200, climb at 92%, close to that. That is on N1, that is this gauge. So we're pretty close, maybe a hair back. But we're making sure nothing's redlining. And then at flight level 290 to 78, if we get there, may have to go all the way up. Right now we're at 70 and 23. You know, I'm pushing us a little faster in the climb, so see if it works. And there's where that one comes up next. So it's a good checklist to kind of back you up. Over CVG now, 24,000 feet. So definitely out of their airspace. Looks like air is lit up again. Glad we're going this way. They did a great job. I didn't. That was my bad. But that's a rarity, folks. I usually, it's, never mind. Anyway, we don't want to go there. We've been there. We're not doing it again. We're going south. We'll see how Orlando approach, because I think they're still how they're working out. So let's find out here somewhere. Nope, they've actually gone down. I had a feeling there was probably surprised if some kind of a streamer or something was pulling approach for him. So another streamer. So you know, it happens out here, folks. And now they're all gone. So my guess is that's what it was. But again, it's just pure guessing and speculation. Now approach in all places is up in Pensacola. That's another place you don't really see them, so that's usually why. So, but hey, that's fine. I remember it wasn't too long ago we did a flight into Juneau and ended up in a streamer and totally did not know he was up there in a situation where Juneau approaches him, which that happens occasionally, and it was because he was with the gaggle of aircraft with this popular streamer. So that was kind of fun. We got to stream in with them, and they were, you know, doing their thing. We did our thing, and it all worked out fine. Sometimes it doesn't, but it is what it is. But you know, when it comes together like that, it's great. Alright, as you can see, we are climbing through 27, so remember, it said 7-8, so that's going to be right about this tick right here. So I don't think we're going to make it up that fast. Could. We still got 1,500 or so feet to go. She's starting to nose over, and I told you 33,000 could be a challenge. We're going to find out. Heading square away, just in case we lose it. Nav, okay. Actually pretty close to 7-8 right now, 28,000. That was fly level 290, so let's see how close we are. And instead of doing, here's what we're doing right now, folks, IAS hold, meaning the pitch is holding to the speed the bug is at. We switch to Mach, it'll be the Mach, which is the outer side that it's holding to. Yeah, we could switch into Mach. And then once we level off, there is no maintaining speeds. We do it by the throttle. Lexington, turn towards ODF, and then Valdosta to join the Lessie 3, Lessie 9. But again, hope y'all are enjoying the ride. Something tells me something's not working. Let's find out. It's working. As you can see, yeah, I'm just checking stuff that came up, ETE not showing, but we're at 1 hour and 19 minutes, folks. $3,000 to go. I am only gonna guess where Piedmont parked there. Gonna guess it's where U.S. Airways was until the purchase of American, and now they're in a different area. So maybe in a second here. safe. Check them out. Right, yep, 1-8 right. It's an RNAV, 1-8 left. Alright, so that makes sense. They can take off, land, okay. And there's our gates. We'll be in airside 3. Hence why I'm going for the movements. Right, I'm just getting things set up there. So there you have it, folks. We'll be leveled off here in about a minute or so. 2 minutes maybe. And on our way. For now, enjoy the flight. I'm going to kind of sit quiet here. Thank goodness. And talk to you as we get closer to top of descent. All right, folks, we got about an hour down to Mickey World. As we're high above the southern Kentucky, northern Tennessee area. Um, hard to see because we're in a blanket of clouds. But watching SimAware and we are, as well as Sim Toolkit, no ATC right now. So, now we're getting ready to fly over some storms as we approach Atlanta. Foothills, I think, is what ODF is. Yeah, foothills. So we'll actually be in the Smokies, odd name for something like that, but we'll be over the Smoky Mountains. Looks like some storms here, so kind of see how it turns out. But we'll go about another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll kind of give an idea of what the arrival looks like in this bird. And then just, hopefully it'll be pretty close to right when we start down. And then we'll start into Orlando. We're headed for 18 right. So call all your friends so they can try and get us all messed up and put us on the 17s. No, just kidding. Sometimes so I wonder. No. But anyway, we will be down there in about an hour. So enjoy, folks. And hope you're enjoying the Retro Day. Piedmont 727 service. This would have been kind of fun in X-Plane11 to see the higher clouds here, how they would be depicted with the volume added to the clouds, because those are obviously thunderstorms for us. But anyway, we're on our way. All right, folks, we're back with you. We've been sitting here on the side watching the chat, and well, we need to start talking about getting some speed into the plane. But wind's changing up here all the time. All right, but we're going to get into the arrival brief. See if that starts speeding us up. Looks like it is. All right. So what I'm going to do is bring Sim Toolkit in. And then you can see where we are, right in the heart of. Now, this is not VATSIM controller. This is a POSCON controller. If I take ATC, it goes away. So you can see you can do different networks up here. So I used to fly a lot on POSCON, and rules are changing there, and I may not be doing many more flights on there. Yeah, it's just it's not as conducive as it used to be. So now, conversely, it's been kind of interesting that Atlanta Center in VATSIM isn't as noticeably up like it used to be. So I don't know if somebody went back to school or what, but yeah, it's been kind of interesting to see that unravel too, because you can almost always count on VATSIM three things: LA, Atlanta, Boston, US, almost all the time open. And just happens to be the three busiest areas usually in the country. I'm just getting us kind of, so I don't have to worry about it too much on the speed. Then we'll get into the, there we go. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so let me bring up our arrival brief. All right, so here's where we are on NavGraph. We just crossed Foothills VOR ODF. Next up is Valdosta, which is the start of the Lessee 3 arrival. So we click Lessee down here. Again, this is charts 8, folks. You can run it separately, or you can activate it by logging into it via Sim Toolkit. So it's all, again, one piece. Okay. We're going to be coming in over Valdosta, which will be 14.8. And then we'll track on. But first, across the top, you need a DME and you need radar. And of course, transition in the US is 18,000. DATIS is right here. Now, if you pull up DATIS, and it's very simple to do, folks, in the chat room, go to the website that's coming up here in a second. And that datis.cloud.io. Upper left-hand corner, you'll see select a facility. Select those that have DATIS capability, and voila, you'll get the latest ATIS real world, not VATSIM, real world for that facility. A lot of US facilities are in DATIS. Not all of them. My airport being one of them. There's many of them out there that aren't. But there's more than you think in there. But if you go to a chart, you see DATIS up at the top, guess what? You'll be able to look it up. In the U.S., Guam, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii, and Alaska. But Alaska, we all know. But anyway, you get the point. Try it in, say, Vienna. Forget it. Well, it's DATIS, but I don't know how you look it up. All right, so from there, we'll come to the chart here. So we're going to fly Valdosta to Ocala, to Aladdin, Shim, and Lessee. Here's where the vectors begin. If we're landing south, as in our case, we're going to expect final court. Oh, it doesn't matter which way. So after Lessee, expect vectors to your approach, be it south or north. We happen to be coming in from the north, landing to the south. Okay, so basically you would fly it VOR to VOR to VOR, expecting your vector somewhere between here and here. All right, now from lessee, once we're vectored, we're going to be going to the 18 right arrival. So I've never seen that transition. Huh. Oh, we still got to set it up too. We'll get to that here in a minute. I just realized that's why I've never seen it. So we'll do the Yago transition to the ILS. Again, across the top though, there's all your frequencies for ATC. The next line is what we worry about. 111.9er is our localizer that will tune in, and will be again 185. And Tuffy, pretty close to the VOR at Orlando, will be at 2,200 feet on the glide slope. And decision altitude is 294 MSL, 200 AGL, which we can read off our radar altimeter. Missed approach is there. You can kind of see it's kind of out, turn, intercept, and hold. Vertically, we're going to come in at navel. So we need to be around at or around 4,000 feet, but by Tuffy, 2,000 feet on glide path. Times from Tuffy, I'm going to guess around 2 minutes, 45 seconds. This I think is going to be pretty close to our VREF or in between there. Malzer, Pappy's on the left. RVR 18 with for all. And half mile. So that's our charts, folks. So let me see. That looks good. Send the toolkit away. Now I just remembered we have not set up our arrival. Look at our next leg. We run out. So let's go to departure, MCO arrival. I'm going to go ahead and set our lessee 3 OTK, right? OTK. And we're going to go 18 right off of Yago. Uh-oh. Let me get us on heading. Go back to legs real quick. Okay, GPS still. Okay, get us back on course here by going down, and that'll resume us back on course to Valdosta. What happened is it threw the discontinuity in, so it was looping us back to foothills. So that's why I always try to keep my heading real close so I can drop the heading and pick it up. All right, so real quick, let's bring up charts this time, only because it doesn't take up much screen. All right, so OTK to Ocala, to Aladdin, to Shim. The lessee. And then we'll go direct Yago. And then on to the naval owner. Hammy. Tuffy onto the runway. Looks good. And we just need to do this again. 215 miles, folks, to top of descent. So you just saw how you could use both products. You could use Sim Toolkit to have done the same thing. It's just hard to see it here. So you could do that or bring up charts like we did. All right, so for now, we are 200 miles out. I'll just kind of bring the music volume up a little bit. Oh, that was funny. That is funny there, Hawker. All right, yeah, he was flying a long haul last night, Tokyo to Seattle. He found out the MD-11, he didn't have enough fuel. And ran out of fuel south of Alaska, 33,000 feet. In flight, refueled it. Gotta love the systems we have in FlyJSim. And made it in. So awesome to hear. And I still have Dayton. Hang on, let me flip-flop that so that we can start picking up Orlando. All right, so folks, we'll just kind of continue on here. And at about 200 miles, we'll get set up for the descent into Orlando. I'm going to make sure we don't have any restrictions in place, which is weird. We used to have lots of restrictions. Now they've pretty well gotten rid of them. Right, because controllers don't follow their own charts. That's all I can think. Why I give them such a hard time, they make you, the pilot, read the NOTAMs that they don't read. So, and I've seen it at our airport, so yeah, it's quite hilarious. Well, we didn't know that. Why didn't you read the NOTAMs? Oh. So, that's real world, folks. That ain't making fun of VATSIM. That's real world. Scary sometimes. But then I've also talked with a real pilot saying just how much paperwork they would get for their flights because of all the NOTAMs almost outweighed the plane. So there's got to be a change coming soon, because it's just way too much that nobody reads. And it's only there for the lawyers to have at it. So, but anyway, folks, we are on our way. We'll let you all listen to the music a little longer, and then we're going to start down for Orlando, Mickey World. So, we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're about 100 miles out of top of descent. And we're 69 miles out of Valdosta. So, should be in Mickey World here in about 30 minutes or so. So, now is a good time, folks, if you haven't done it already. I haven't done this in a while. The exclamation mark, the word predict, then a space and a negative number, and we'll see who gets the closest to it. I even put my name in the hat to see how well I think I'm gonna do. So yeah, we'll be 30 minutes out, give it about another 100 or so miles, and we'll begin our descent. So enjoy the ride, folks, as we bring the T-tail in on T-tail first. I had some interesting stuff last night after the flight. About an hour and a half afterwards, as we were uploading that flight to YouTube, power went out for 2.5 hours, close to 3 hours here in town. No idea. It wasn't raining that hard, no storms. I don't even think the wind is stronger today than yesterday. 3 hours we were out. And I know some of you are like, oh, that's a normal thing for us. Not here in the U.S. Well, I should say that I'm sure there's some municipalities. It happens quite a bit. That's sad. It shouldn't. And then it went out again, as just after I got into a point where I don't have to be watching it, it's uploading, doing the final parts. The power went off again for about 20 minutes at that point. So, yeah, eventful times yesterday here in the Skoda area. But, some things that I'm definitely not happy about the area here. The way the power just goes off. But, who am I? Just a tax-paying voter that none of the politicians listen to. So we'll just keep going, as evident Tuesday night with the State of the Union show on the TV. Well, he's actually clueless, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, we're on our way to Mickey World. And I do wonder, he made a comment. This is one of the few times I will dabble a little bit into politics. Very little. I wonder if anyone in the press is going to take him up on his challenge. If they're willing to put their career on the line. Because as soon as they challenge him, he'll not let them in the White House. I'm curious, will any of them have that zeal they would for a Republican against Biden? Check him out. Not check the facts, because there was hardly any facts in the speech. Check the one where he said what the Republicans are out to do with Medicare. He said he has it. Call him to the mat on it. Sure as hell would have with Trump and any other Republican. Call him to the mat. See if he trumped it up. Pun intended. And that's about as far as you'll see me dab into politics here, folks. that's the problem here in the United States. We have a press that doesn't equally, ferocity-wise, go after people. So, all right, so we are coming in on Valdosta. And there at Valdosta is an Air Force Base Moody. The good old A-10s are based there. I think one of two bases. Not sure though if the second one still exists. But definitely Valdosta. I know England Air Force Base no longer exists. I know was another base with them. But, and that was in Louisiana. So, that sun's trying to come out. Love it. All right, folks. We do have a Discord channel. Here's an invite to it if you'd like to carry any of the online stuff to the offline world where we're on Discord all the time. Love to have you there in the chat rooms. So, and how far out now? About 73 miles. And there we go, Boston, Valdosta. All right, so let's get ready for descent here, folks. All right, descending to mandatory 6,000 echo. Down to have any others on the arrival. None on the arrivals. starting to draw it in. There to Orlando. Okay, we're not pulling in Ocala yet. That is shouldn't be long, but we should be starting to pull it in. Again, be mindful, folks. Here, it's easier to show it this way. All right, the HSI will tune, well, when you're on nav, tune nav 1 here. However, the DME, other than what may show here, is actually over here. Likewise, nav 2 is here, and the DME off of that will be here. Very complicated, as you can get out and as you can see. So be mindful of that, folks. So 29 off of there. Well, let's see here. 40 miles how we're doing, because I'm a little bit concerned. See how this page is working. Okay, it's set to be at 6,000. Let's see. Getting numbers, so quick. So we're going to let it get a little closer. Before we start down to 6,000. And again, that's so we can be at Yago. Okay, I am going to go ahead now and come off. We'll let it drift us in a little closer. We're now 15 miles out, so we'll start. Actually 122 miles from Orlando VOR, I believe. Okay, we're going to go heading select, altitude select. Set up about a 2,000 foot a minute descent. Pull some power back. All right, folks, there we go, starting our descent into Mickey Land. It's funny, it says 150, and I'm set at 152. And I know this is all wind. Get on track here. Before we get too low, you look at the contrails, you kind of see how the plane is crabbing through the air. That's what we got to overcome. Okay, 28,000. Okay, the lower we get now, the speeds are going to rise. We got to watch what we're doing here to keep it right around 300, if not 290 to 280 in our descent. Okay, so now we've overshot. All right, cool. So now Just about on the line, folks, and we are roughly 12 miles out. All right, so it'll be 129 or 309. So let's go over here and set that, see how that looks. As we're closing in on it. And we're going to be doing 129, so I'm going to go ahead. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because this is not panning as easy as I thought, 12.02. $30.19. Okay, let's get over here. 30. All right, so coming towards Orlando VOR now. Lessee will be $30.2. I'm sorry, 30 on the DMEs. Okay, we're on course, folks. Okay. I hate this. The 200, for some reason, the speed bug always hangs up here with the Mach numbers instead of coming down. The 100 seems to get it right. Let me try one thing. So VREF for 132, yeah, 140 was a good number. And we're in the soup. From Leslie will turn 119. We're about 4 miles from that. So let me set that up. Okay, we are good to make the turn. And then we set up for the ILS. 111. Niner. Okay, and that'll be on a 185.
Traffic Southwest 3176, 5 mile final runway 18 right, Orlando.
Okay. All right, so now we'll punch in some power. Okay, there's 6,000, which is our mandatory, and 210, so we are slowing just right. Okay. That'll be 6 miles after that. Whew, folks, this is where it gets fun when you're flying without radar. Oh, power back. Got to stay down around 200. Okay, I think Okay, now we're headed to Yago. Get up here, set our brakes to medium. All right, we are over Yago. So, Orlando traffic, Piedmont, 1043 over Yago, inbound for the 18 right ILS. Altitude select.
Clear traffic Southwest 3176. Clear runway 18 right, crossing 18 left. Or later.
All right, we do have the runway in sight, so that's a good thing. As we try to descend on this look like we're not getting a glide slope. Around 7 miles. Okay, we're taking it. And Orlando traffic, Piedmont 1043, 3 mile final, 18 right. Interesting, no glide slope. Flaps full, spoilers armed, we're cleared to land. Even the localizer's off. Yeah, I'm not on the localizer. Exactly. And we're stable for landing.
Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30. 20. 10.
Okay, there's 80. Come off here at Echo. Well, I'm glad I took over on the visual approach there, folks. I didn't have the ILS radio tuned in. Hence why we weren't getting readings. Alright, we're clear. Come the flaps. Why does it do that all the time? And right over here, folks, is where we're going to be going. All right, strobes off. Orlando traffic, Piedmont 1043, clear of all runways, taxiing to air side 3. Okay, we're just working our way into the gate area here, folks. Let me check the last bit of my checklist. Anti-ice off. Off. And finally, radar off. I think I'm gonna take this gate right here, folks. And the brakes are set. Okay, final checks. The galley power can go off. APU to gens. Hydraulics. Okay, engines off. Rotating beacon off. Air conditioning set. All right, folks, welcome to Orlando. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Sorry for the quietness there, folks. Trying to figure out a few things as you saw. Again, we ran into the issue. We didn't have the ILS tuned up. So that's why we weren't getting a glide slope. We were tracking perfectly to Orlando, POR. All right, so let's see how we did here with our VA, Piedmont Virtual. Probably going to have to relog in, no biggie. Minus 232 is our average. Let's see what we did on this one. Oh, we got accepted already. Oh, we landed at 361. They do want something. Let me guess, I selected the wrong plane. Trying to think how I know how to pull this up. Just want to see what they're saying here. Hang on, they're saying my livery's wrong. Did I choose the wrong? $639. Yeah, we got the right aircraft from their list. Oh well. For review, was contacted. Cool. Have to do anything. Okay, cool. All right. Well, folks, we're in here at Orlando. Let me come off of VATSIM and pull up our back. As I said, helps to do the right one. All right, and what we're going to do now, folks, is review the flight. First by Sim Toolkit. Then flying it. Well, replaying it. All right, so there you have it, folks. We'll get rid of that. Flight's already been submitted, so we'll go here. View the details. We landed kind of slow. Kind of did it again. And I know it floated, and that's why it got slow. All right. Numerically, landed on the right runway. 5 feet off the center line's not bad. Almost 3,000 feet down the runway. On here, just outside the landing zone. Now, when I call a landing zone, folks, what that means. Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute, why is this looking backwards? Because my mind is backwards. Okay. Back here, you'll see a white line. That's your threshold. From there, south is the legal area to land in the real world. Each hash mark is 500 feet, folks. So here is where we visually try to touch down at. As you can tell, it's not very successful. They even trail off to about here. So, but the goal is to be at the landing zone, which is usually the first 3,000 foot on anything longer than 10,000 feet. It shortens up as we get shorter from there. All right, so looks like a good landing, just for slow, which helps to bang us onto the run. All right, let's pull it away. And with X-Plane11, usually, knock on wood, we have a good chance of watching this in replay. X-Plane12, we kind of roll the dice. And it's because it is technically, while released, it is still technically beta. So, this is something that comes with X-Plane, both 11 and 12. It's called replay mode. You must-fussers out there with 2020, you have to download a program, install it, start it where you want to record from for your landings. So to me, that's where X-Plane excels a little bit over you all. Y'all can enjoy your eye candy. I like to learn. I like to fly in the more realistic atmosphere. I don't care what it looks like around me, as long as it looks like there's 4 air sides, a couple of ramps. Hey, we're in flyover country in these planes. Now, if you're flying Cessnas and all, I get it. You like the eye country because you're down there. But you're in an airliner, you're flyover, folks. Here we go. So I can actually go all the way back to when I first signed on, folks, if I wanted. This went too far. I think we're okay from here. Except we don't have appropriate music room. Alright, so it's going to take a second for the scenery to gen up. But yeah, there it goes. So we're pretty well lined up. Runways in sight. Let's see how we did. What I'm expecting is a float. Or as I like to call it, a floater. Aboard, Hawker, just as we're doing the replays. Yeah, we flared too hard. That's the other thing. Oh well. And we're floating. Actually, it wasn't all that bad. And as you all can see, we're actually doing some pretty good landings here. Here, let me get over here. And Hawker, you're not getting the weather because I've got SIM toolkit shut off. that was a good landing. Now, I don't have wing views. So that's a bummer. Watch from the tower. We'll do it from here. See, I flared too hard, causing the float. But when you got a 10 to 11,000 foot runway, folks, floating isn't a bad thing. So, and we were on the center line for the most part, except for the rollout. So, hey, it's a good landing. Do one more view that Hawker likes. Not bad, folks. Alright, we're gonna go one more time. I meant to go to the tower, and we ended up in a different view. Again, not bad. Folks, I want to thank you all for flying with Mike. It has been an honor and privilege. And y'all can come in next week. Tuesday, I think, will be our next scheduled stream. Don't know the pairing yet. But always stay tuned. You never know if there'll be hang on a second, a surprise. So let me pull in. So again, thank you for flying with Mike, and see you Tuesday, folks. If you liked what you saw, like what you see, smash the follow button, and if you're on the YouTube replay, smash subscribe. We'd love to have you, folks. Also, our Discord channel, you'll find that here at this invite, and we'd love to talk with you in between flights. So for now, folks, you all have a great day. God bless you all. And because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you, God. Psalm 63:3. Keep that on the back of your minds the rest of the day, folks. Hope you all have a great day. Again, God bless you. We'll see you again, hopefully Tuesday. I know.